Hey everybody, welcome to Fortunate Creations. I'm Kim and this is another episode of Stash Busters. So around me and behind me you can see socks that I've made, you can see kitchen towels, you can see hair ties, and you can even see some Halloween decorations as well as another kitchen towel here. What I'm trying to do is use all of the yarn that I have to create usable, functional items for the home while busting that stash. Today's lesson is going to be pet toys. Wait till you see what I stuff it with. You're not going to believe it. Grab your Addi and let's go. All right, so I have my Addi. It's the small one. I believe it's 20, let me see, 24. I don't know, my eyes aren't working that good. 22 or 24 needles. It's the small one. I'm setting this to 0 just out of habit. Once I make one of these, then I will know how many I need, but right now, we're just going to go ahead and play with this. So you're going to see I have stash over here. And if you've been watching any of my other videos, I have stash everywhere. So also in my house is a variety of chip bags. Now, my dog doesn't care what season it is. My dog doesn't care what the theme of his new toys are. He just likes to have a toy that makes a crinkling noise that he can play with. So I'm going to take some purple yarn and I'm going to take half of a chip bag and I'm going to make a dog toy because like I said, he doesn't care what the season is. And it's as simple as this. You're just going to load your Addi like you always would, in front, behind, all the way around. Okay? Now, depending on the size of your dog, you're going to change the size of your dog's toy, correct? Or if you have a cat, you can, obviously make this for a cat as well. But this is going to be for my little Fritz. And normally I clean off my desk, but right now I want you to see that I am in the middle of this chaos, making something that's this easy. Okay, so let's do it. I don't know about you guys, but the first row of the Addi always gives me fits, and then it gets better once we're around. There we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead, depending on how much yarn I have in a certain color, and I'm going to go ahead and just keep spinning the Addi until A, it touches the table under here, or B, I run out of yarn. And like I said, my dog is very small. He's only 10 pounds, depending on whether he's had his exercise for the week. But it is as simple as this. I'm just going around and around, and you're making a little tube. Of course, I gotta go slow because I'm using my stash, and right now I'm actually using yarn barf that I found in a box. And it's not very conducive of, here's more yarn barf, but that's the whole idea. I'm not wasting yarn, I'm not throwing yarn out, I'm rethinking the purpose of it. Now you could also, if you're making this for a cat, I'm going to fill this with this crinkly toy. You can also fill it with catnip if you give catnip to your furry friends, or you can make it a pouch where they have to find the treat. Now I did that when Fritzy was little, and Fritzy is my long-haired Chihuahua, in case you don't know. And he would dig for the treats and he loved it. I mean, you got to use something that's durable or something that you don't care getting ruined as far as this goes. Sorry the camera's shaking, but this is attached to my desk, which is where the camera's attached as well. So, all right, I'm at 12 rows. I'm going to keep going until my patience run out with this yarn, or until it gets as long as I want it to be, which could be either one of the solutions any minute now. So a couple more rows. I'm thinking about 35 maybe. Again, my dog is very small. If you have a giant dog and you need bigger toys, you're going to make them bigger. So here we go. A little bit of progress with pulling that knot out. Round and round the Addi goes. Where it stops, well, we're going to know because I have them marked. So So those of you that have larger dogs and a larger Addi, this will also work with that. This will also work for baby toys. I highly recommend you use 100% cotton if you're going to do a baby toy because, well, you know they're going to get dirty. They're going to have to be washed. So I would suggest you use the sugar and cream or the, I call it kitchen cotton. It's the rough stuff. Everybody loves to hate on the rough stuff, but I use it for all of my kitchen stuff. And I like it. So, all right, we're going to keep going. I'm at 26 rows right now. Blow off some of the dust. And we're at 30 rows. I'm getting to the end, so I'm just going to keep going until this gives me enough just to sew in my end and be finished. So we're going to go ahead and stop at 32. Okay. Okay, so it clicks over to 32. I like to finish the row I'm in. And there we go. So I don't use the row of throwaway or scrap yarn. I just feel like it's an extra step. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle. And then I just go ahead and I scoop off the yarn as it comes around. I don't know. Let me see if you can see it with this hand. So I just go right in and scoop it off each stitch as it comes around. Now it's only 22 stitches. So it's really not going to take you that long to do it this way. If you insist on using the row of scrap yarn, go ahead, but I don't find it necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop these off. Be very careful not to turn this too fast because once the yarn goes past there, it's free falling and you don't want it to pop off the needle and then you'll lose a stitch. Okay, so do it at your own pace. Don't rush yourself. Don't put too many on that you can't handle. And if you do get to a point where you turn it and you need to pull the needle through, just put your finger over the stitch like this so that it can't pull off. Okay. All right, let's finish this up here. Put that over there. Make sure you don't catch your yarn on any of the other needles because that's just another mess you'd have to get yourself out of by untangling that. So I'm to the point now where I can usually pull off anywhere from 8 to 10 stitches at a time without having to pull it tight. You heard it click, so that lets me know I'm at the end. Now, one stitch left here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that right off, and we're good to go. Now, the last one likes to stick. Okay, so check this out. How cute is that? All right, pull this through so that you're not dropping any stitches. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move the Addi and finish this up. So just take these off so I can take it off my desk. There's one. And there's two. Put that off the desk. Move my little Addi over here out of the way. Okay. Now, got this cute little pouch. So what do we do here? Now, you make sure you fold it so that the starting yarns are lined up as the first stitch. Okay, see how I'm doing that? Starting yarn, first stitch. You can make these fancier, put little things on it, but your dog really doesn't care. So I'm going to go ahead, take off my needle, and pick up my crochet hook. And I use the tail that I have to go ahead and sew this or stitch this up. So I go in the very first stitch and I pull this, and it's as simple as 1-to-1 stitches at the very first stitch. So this row, or let me get that hair out of there. This yarn right here, I'm doing slip stitches with it all the way across. Okay, make sure, let me check the camera, make sure I'm in there. So I'm just right through. See how it's right through there? Just pull through and do the slip stitch. You can do a single crochet if you like. That is totally up to you. I do the slip stitch because it hides the seam better and it just looks nice, in my humble opinion. You could, you know, make it a fancy border if you want. If you have a fancy pet and you want a fancy border, go right ahead. So there's one side, nice and stitched up. And then I'm just going to take this other side here. I'm going to stuff it with the crinkly chip paper. Make it as flat as possible so it doesn't poke through. And then I'm going to do on this end what I did on the other end. Okay, line them up. This is going to be the first stitch. So I'm going to go right in. Exact same way as I did on the other end. Okay, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to pull that through, and then I'm just going to go stitch for stitch and slip stitch across. Once you do this a few times and you run out of yarn and you don't have enough to stitch across, you're going to remind yourself, leave enough tail on both ends to be able to sew this in. And this is about as tough as this gets. We're almost done here. And your dogs are going to love it. Your pets are going to love it. They like the crinkling noise. Plus you're recycling. You're reusing that chip bag instead of throwing it out right away. So, and then here we go. I'm playing yarn chicken here, but I think I'm going to make it. Okay. And there we go to the final one and pull it through. Cute little dog toy. And it's a perfect size. It's about the size of my hand. And Fritz loves them. He carries them all around the house. He uses them all the time. When I tell him to go get a toy, it's one of these toy that he defaults to and grabs. It's not, I used to subscribe to one of those really expensive ones. I'm just hiding my tail right now. I used to, where they send you a box every month, and it's a theme for whatever holidays it was. Of course I fell into that because he was a new puppy and I wanted to make sure he had everything and was happy as could be. Well, guess what? He's as happy as could be with the toys that mommy makes him. And what do you think this cost me? Probably, what, 20 cents to make? 30 cents to make? Trim this off and it tucks right back inside. Hide this other tail in here. And honestly, it does not get any easier than this. You're doing something for your pets. You're doing something, well, to recycle, you know, and you're doing something for yourself. You're stash busting. There we go. Here is an Addi recycle chip bag pet toy. And there you go. All right, so there you have it. Busting the stash, making presents for your fur babies, and reusing chip bags. Everybody's got some sort of bag that makes this noise in their house. All I do, I wash it out, rinse it out, dry it out, and get ready to use it inside the toys for my pets. Put a little catnip in there if you've got a cat. Make them bigger if you've got a bigger animal. But seriously, this is a great way to bust some stash. All right, you guys, remember, always be happy, be kind, and be creative. I'll see you next time on Stash Busters. Bye, guys.